Hi, it's great to talk to you, Steve. Thank you for the time.
My pleasure.
So, when you were planning for this season, what drew you to the Sparrow Academy and telling this story this season?
I want to just have a different starting point for our characters where, they had a really good foe in the fact that not only are there sparrows in their house, but they were raised by the same father. They share a similar trauma, but they have perfected, the art of being superheroes where our family sort of failed miserably. But I wanted to see if our family could pull together against this common foe. So I thought that was a fun starting point. It's a little Miller's Crossing there, that, family versus family.
Did it present certain challenges in terms of bringing it to the screen? Were there, versus the other seasons, was it easier or harder?
It was much harder because of COVID. We shot in Toronto where there were incredible limitations when it was the height of COVID. So at one point, we couldn't put more than 5 actors on set at the same time for, distancing rules. And I have 14 people I have to put in a cast. So that was a challenge. But once we were able to get around that, it was wonderful when they were all on set together. And there was a little bit of, you could see a little competitive nature, even though they're all friends. When we said cut, you could see when they were acting, there's a little bit like, they were actually getting into it, but they were all delightful. The Sparrows were really a lot of fun. And we all really enjoyed each other's company on set.
How challenging is it to cast the Sparrows? Because you're really trying to do something very different with that team, I'm assuming.
Yeah, no, well, it was only challenging in so far as in the graphic novel, we're introduced to the Sparrows at the very end of the last graphic novel. And I went slightly different direction, but I just wanted very different sort of, I wanted them to be very different than our umbrellas. Again, not no one I think really mirrors each other. They all are sort of distinct. So I wanted 14 distinct people. I shouldn't say people. There's 13 distinct people and then there's a cube. But still, I wanted them all to feel slightly different. So no one was like a copy of each other. And I think all of them stand out for their own reasons.
And I mean, to me, the other interesting thing here is that you're doing something so different season to season, because first season has its very own mood and style and themes. And then the second season goes another direction. And now third, you've kind of gone somewhere else. Did you feel that in making it? Was that part of the goal, or how did that work?
Yeah, look, it's a very busy landscape of TV now. And I think shows have to evolve. And we're trying to evolve every year. We haven't been picked up, but I have a very good plan for next season, which will also be a different take on it. But, I have a great group of writers who I rely on, and we work together well. And our goal is to sort of every year to say, how can we top what we did the year before? How can we challenge the audience, who are very smart and lots to choose from, to stick around and watch what we're doing?
Well, I love the way you've woven things in, because it feels, in a complex story, it does feel like you've kind of woven in a direction that feels like you're flowing with the story. I guess did that shift as you're coming up with these scripts, or did it just come naturally once you got into it?
Yeah, I mean, once I sit down with the writers. First of all, I pitch it to Netflix myself and say, this is where I want to go this season. And then there's just this long process with the writers where we talk through everything before we've even thought about writing an outline. We've sort of talked through everything, and things evolve so much at that stage. And once we sort of had a rhythm for it, it was a great year to write. I mean, it just felt right from start to finish. And sometimes the rooms, this is not working. You backtrack, start over. That wasn't this year. This year, we really just sort of had a great momentum all the way through to the episode 10, which in my mind felt we were on the right track, right?
I mean, it flows. It's awesome. I especially love the way it starts and how you've continued off of the last season. Well, I don't want to give away any spoilers. I guess just in terms of, were there any that were more complex than the rest?
Yes, they were. There were some very complex things, and some things to do with character. We've talked about Elliot Page's transition in real life and how we transitioned the character in the show. There were some complexities that COVID made it nearly impossible to shoot what was written, and I will say the word scramble to rewrite certain things to make them simply someone say, you can't go there tomorrow anymore. And we're like, oh, what do we do? So there were things I had to take out, but I found other things to put in, and the cast was very, very giving in that front, that, I'd say, these are new pages for tomorrow. Let's just try to do this. And they came with their, the game face on every day.
Well, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it. It's an
Great.
awesome season.
Thank you. And great talking to you. I appreciate it.